Hey there, I'm Heather Harrington, and he is Will West, and you're tuned into the Big Three, and it's all draft today, as the first round of the NFL draft was last night. Will West, biggest surprise in the first round of the 2017 NFL draft?
Well, it's the Chicago Bears trading up one spot to draft Mitch Trubisky. And what they gave up to move one spot. San Francisco must have convinced them that someone else was offering another first-round pick plus to move into that spot ahead of them to draft Trubisky. The Bears make that move. I have no idea how it's going to work out for them, but that changed everything as far as the trajectory for this draft.
We have been so ingrained to know that Alabama players are going to go in the top 10. I honestly think the biggest surprise was an Alabama player not getting drafted before the 15th spot. And then they did rattle off 3 there in a row. But the biggest shocker of the first round to me is that Reuben Foster fell all the way to 31 for the San Francisco 49ers. In my opinion, after watching him play over the past few years with Alabama, holy smokes, San Francisco just hit a home run and might have got the best value of the first round.
He could be the next Patrick Willis. And with Reuben Foster, I thought he was the best player in college football last year, regardless of position. But apparently he was red flagged by 2 different teams that the shoulder injury may be a chronic problem, and that's why he fell in the draft.
All right, who is going to be the biggest bust in this year's draft?
I hate to say it, but I think it's Mitch Trubisky. And mostly, I feel bad saying that because we don't know if this guy's Joe Montana or if he's Joey Harrington, right? We just don't have enough of a book on him, and we haven't seen him play enough games with just 13 starts. But I have a hard time believing 13 starts, you're the second overall pick, making $30 million throughout 5 years of a contract, and that you're going to work out. So sorry Bears fans, I don't see it happening.
It's where he is, and he's going to be playing behind a bad offensive line. I think you could be right, but I'm going to go with Leonard Fournette. And I hate to do this because he is an SEC guy, and I like to see the SEC guys go on and do really well.
Here in Knoxville.
He did. He is going to be on a really bad team behind a really bad offensive line with the Jacksonville Jaguars, and his whole thing through college was get my money. Now that you got the money in the pocket, how motivated are you, Leonard Fournette? And then that Alabama game from 2 years ago, I just can't seem to shake that from my mind.
If he needs a runway, and if the offensive line can't create that for him, I think Jacksonville may have wasted this pick, honestly.
All right, Will West, I want you to grade your New York Giants on the first round.
I don't want to talk about it. The Giants drafted as a tight end someone who does not play tight end in Ingram from Ole Miss. Also, he's a wide receiver. They have Odell Beckham Jr., Brandon Marshall, Sterling Shepard already at receiver. So your offensive line's awful. 27th ranked rushing attack in the NFL last year, and you draft a 4th receiver with your first round pick when Cam Robinson's still on the board.
I think you're being a little hard on poor Ingram. Look at what the tight ends are doing now in the NFL. The New England Patriots with Aaron Hernandez and Rob Gronkowski. I mean, Jimmy Graham in his heyday with the Saints. I mean, think about the positives.
More athletic tight ends, yes, that you can split out. If he was an actual tight end, it might make me feel a little bit better about drafting him as a tight end.
I'm going to go with my Dallas Cowboys getting a solid B. Now, we had some issues that we need to address in the secondary. Hopefully that will be addressed today during the second and third rounds. But my boy Taco Tuesdays, now on Sundays, sometimes on Monday Night Football, I love you.
Great pick for the Cowboys. I think they need pass rush. They need secondary more, but there are more guys in the second, third round that I think can be starting corners in this draft than there are pass rushers. So take the pass rusher first if you feel that way.
We were going over a few of them just before we started filming. I mean, just look at the SEC. You still got Tease Tabor on the board. You still got Cam Sutton. I mean, there's
Quincy
some big
Wilson's
names.
a starter in the NFL. He is, and he's still on the board.
All right, our extra credit question for the day. Let me get our expert. Now, will Derek Barnett be an All-Pro with the Philadelphia Eagles? Unlikely, Will West.
I don't see it either. Look, I think Barnett can be a multiple-time Pro Bowler, but remember, All-Pro is the best at your position in the National Football League, and at his weight, I just don't think he can ever be better than J.J. Watt and some of the other guys that are just have 20 pounds on him.
Well, yeah, now Jadeveon Clowney, who's filling in for J.J. Watt when he's on the bench. It's just, you're talking about a really deep position. I understand that. I'm high on Derek Barnett. I liked him more than Myles Garrett. I've talked about it for months and months and months. I don't know, though, if he's going to reach All-Pro status. But one thing I do know about Derek Barnett is that you now bookend him with Fletcher Cox, and you're talking about I am nervous having to see him twice a year when they play my Dallas Cowboys.
And the Giants' trash offensive line that I discussed earlier, I'm sure he will wreak havoc on that. This is a great spot for him in Philadelphia. Jim Schwartz allows his defensive linemen just to get upfield and get after the football. That it doesn't make him control a gap. Perfect for Barnett because he knows how to do that.
So we'll hope if he racks up some of those sack numbers, you will see him either on a Pro Bowl roster or as that very coveted All-Pro. That's going to wrap it up for this episode of The Big Three. That's a wrap.